Hello all you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend Britik coming at you fast with another Beast Builds video, and today we are going to be looking at a general deck for supports. Now, this will probably cover all of the supports that you will ever need, except maybe phase, and I'll talk about the differences, why that is. But anyway, let's get into the deck. So we got Growth and Order. A lot of people like doing Knowledge in Order. Knowledge is good too because you have Font of Experience, which will get your levels up higher. I like doing Growth because it has Coin Master, which is pretty nice on support since they pretty much never fight except for later on. What you can also do instead of Coin Masters, you can have Highwaymen, and you can be aggressive, poke the heck out of the enemies, and get this gold back. So either Coin Master or Highwaymen, whatever you want to do. It just depends. It honestly depends. It's probably more efficient to have a Coin Master on Muriel or on Narbash or whatever, because simply 16 bonus gold while out of combat, while you're running around warding places, rotating places, you will get every 30 seconds you'll get 48, where this one gives you 75. Every time you hit for 15 seconds. So if you're constantly aggressive in the beginning, Highwayman could be good, but then later on, Coin Master could be better for your coin. So honestly, it just depends on your play style. It really does. You can have both. Nobody's stopping you from having both. But you do want to have Lamplighter. You want to have the Shadow Ward, obviously. And you want to be getting this every time you back. So every time you go out, you put them down, put the two down in your safe lane or for mid lane or for Raptor Pit or whatever. Come back, grab it again, and go back out there, you crazy armored footmen. Made a pun. Alright, Green Spring. I like Green Spring. This one is a bit of a luxury card later on. This is not what you're going to focus first, but I like it because it gives you basic armor, and it gives you 8.4 health regen while out of combat. Again, supports aren't usually in combat too often. They're not hitting minions. They're not clearing camps. So having this card is pretty nice for sustain. Lightstep Vanguard is a nice card. It lets you teleport to structures. This can help you rotate to other lanes, such as off lane and mid lane. If mid lane's getting ganked, you can teleport to the middle tower as Decker, for example. Teleport, use your stun, and save the mid life. This is only if you're really, really good with your map awareness. I rarely use this one because I would rather focus my 3 Intellect into Radiant Healer. This is a good start. It gives you 190 health, which is nice, and it gives you and your allies 5 health regen. So this is pretty much Circlet of Health. Really nice card to have. Radiant Healer. Protective Sentry is also a really nice card to have. This is usually my 3rd card after Coin Master and Radiant Healer. This is a permanent ward. You don't have to buy 300, or you don't have to spend 300 gold rather to buy wards. You can just get this one. It respawns every 65 seconds. You can place another one down, and when you're near it, you get 15 basic armor. Plus, it also gives you some mana regen. So overall, it's just a nice card to have. And then, Brilliant Fortification. This is an amazing card. This is a great card, alright, especially for countering prime pushes, for countering towers, and everything. All allied structures are immune to damage for 6 seconds. This is amazing. Why? Because you can use this from across the map, and all allied structures will be immune for 6 seconds. This is a great counter to Wukong. At any time when Wukong's split pushing and your team needs a few more seconds to rotate, you can use this card and prevent damage being taken by your tower. This is actually a really, really underappreciated card, and it's freaking fantastic. So definitely make sure to use it, especially against a Wukong or a split pusher like Kalari or whatever. You want to have cards like this. It just helps a lot. Then moving on, we also have Malink's Prayer. This is a card that I like. This is pretty much quenching scales. Heal nearby allies for 275 health. Healed allies gain 24 basic armor, and it also gives you health and basic armor on top of that. So this is just a nice card to have. Really, really nice card to have. Quenching scales. Helps you in team fights. Just, obviously, a great card. Gates of Salvation. This one's pretty cool. 7 points of intellect. Healed nearby allies for 225 health every 45 seconds. So it's like a boosted Radiant Healer. It's like a boosted Radiant Healer, but more so you have to time it with the ping. So you have to, it's like you're in a fight and then it pops automatically. It's not active, it just pops automatically, and then you leave the fight, and then you come back, and it pops again. You know, it's a bit more timing based. If you stood next to somebody the whole entire time with Radiant Healer, it would deal the same exact amount of healing as this, so there's no difference in that. But another thing that's really good about this is that it gives you ability armor, which is really hard to come by in this update. So ability armor on cards is really useful as well. And then Maling's Grace is a great card to have. Shield Link, shield yourself and target ally for 15% of your max health for 3 seconds. We have these cards that give us health. We have Maling's Prayer. We have Radiant Healer. So this card could also be pretty good if you want to shield one of your allies. I also have this in my Steel deck because Steel could be played as a support, and he has a ton of health. So having this card on Steel would be even better, for example. Sprykin, this is a pretty cool card. Restoration Link, you and target ally gain 60% of your missing health and mana over 10 seconds. This, I'd say, would probably be really good on phase. I have yet to use it on any of my supports because games are ended pretty quickly, and I prefer to have wards, quenching scales, and then one of those cards I mentioned previously, like the Fortified Structures card. But this is pretty cool. Also, I like the art on this one. This looks like a little, like a big ass sloth, like a sloth dog. Sloth dog, confirmed sloth dog, next hero. Okay. Then we have Domain of Stillness. This is a super fun card. I actually use this card. Stasis yourself and all nearby heroes for 2.5 seconds. It got so quiet when I used this card in the middle of a team fight. We fought right in that corner next to Orb Prime and that Shadow Wall. And it was just so funny because there was probably like 4 or 5 of us just hitting each other. There was Iggy turrets down. It was all insane. I don't know what abilities were going on, but I think Iggy was ulting. So I used group stasis, and everybody, the Iggy was done. My teammates were stasis. It's just so cool. It's so much fun to use. I would recommend trying it out at least because it could be useful in certain situations. That was just a fun card, to be honest. And that's it. So those are all the cards in this deck. Again, going back to this early game, the reason I spent so much time on it is because the early game is pretty important as a support, obviously. Having this early game, having both Highwayman and Coinmaster could probably deal you a lot of good. So you could get rid of Lightstep Vanguard and have Highwayman. I don't know. I'm just lazy. You know, like if you're an aggressive support, if you're poking a lot, Highwayman probably really good investment. But it'll take you at least 13 hits with any damage, and you have a 15-second cooldown each time. So maybe by the time you get there, it might be too late. It just depends on how quickly you take the safe lane, but I don't know. I like Coinmaster. I'm just lazy. I don't really like worrying about hitting unless I'm Kalari. Then I'll get that card in offlane and just dagger them to death. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff here. So with supports, you're probably not going to get a lot of gold. I'm just saying this right now. You're probably not going to get too much gold. So having super duper expensive gems is not wanted, but sometimes you might have to. There's a lot of good gems all just floating around everywhere. You're not really going to put anything into agility. You're going to be focusing vitality and intellect, so the gems are really up to you. I like quick exit just because it helps you rotate better, rotate quicker, helps you get to your teammates faster as a support. I just like quick exit. So you're going to start off with 1 point, though. You're going to start off with 1 point into intellect. And then you can have 1 point in a quick exit, but this depends on how you want to do it. You could also rush 3 points into intellect because of that Radiant Healer. So this is all up to you again. But for the gems, we have quick exit. We have armored, which is nice because out of combat gives you shield. We have auto shield, where you drop below 25% max health. You gain 100 shield, so this helps with survivability early on. You have blade turn, block the next basic attack after casting an ability. So again, this will be your tanky part of your build, right? Supports should have survivability of some sort. Mana Fountain, regen up to 10 mana per second, so you just don't run out of mana. That's nice. And then Spell Shield, of course. Especially if you're someone like Narbash who can get interrupted, you want to have Spell Shield. This will help you out a ton. So, there we go. There is the general support deck for you guys. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoyed. I used the same exact deck in my Muriel gameplay, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And again, for phase, the only thing, we didn't go over the difference for phase real quick. The only thing that I would say for phase is I would exchange one of these cards for Vital Waters. Increase all healing effects cast and receive by 15%. So this has a lot of health regen, which is really nice. Having cards that give you health regen would be very, very nice with Phase. So that's what I would focus on for Phase before I go and make a deck for her. But I don't think I'd really make a deck for her. She's pretty low tier right now, in my opinion, when it comes to supporting. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. As always, make sure to have a wonderful day. Peace.